Ah, yes, the BlizzCon Guild Crash is an early Emirdrasil showcase.
Interesting.
Yeah, you know what? I think this is cool. That said, Dakor putting good or bad in the title.
Bad.
Is it good or is it bad? It can only be one.
It can't be both. Complexity?
Okay.
In my analysis, never.
It's going to have Gnarlroot, Igara the Cruel, Smolderon.
Yo, the Fire Lord. It's Raggy too. Let's go.
Oh, look. This is like Raggy too, but he's cut. He's cut now. He's shredded. And Tindral, Sage Swift, Seer of the Flame.
Fucking Tindral.
Tindral.
Why is he called
Got it. Tender.
Tindral? Do you think you're fucking funny? Do you really think you're funny?
His name is Tindral Swipe Right.
You know, I wasn't.
He's a cat truant. Sorry.
That's actually pretty funny. I wasn't thinking of that angle whatsoever. I was just literally more annoyed. They're like, he's a Druid of the Flame. What's his name? Tinder.
So there are points. There are points for and against. So the for, I suppose, is just hype and that it's cool. And also Blizzard actually highlighting these guilds that do play a meaningful part in their game's ecosystem. But the points against, it may spoil the experience for some players, especially those who don't go into the PTR or pay attention to social media. Just don't watch the event.
Skill issue.
Some people may think this is giving the top 4 guilds an advantage and an edge over the others. Oh. It's not as if World of Warcraft's a serious esport. If I was, I know that'll offend a lot of people. If I was a serious esport, it would be ran differently.
If you think that fighting bosses on a stage at BlizzCon is going to give the guilds who are already almost guaranteed to be the ones, then no.
So I'm just going to drag over the entire against category and there you go. It's gone. This is only good, basically. I think it's fine. I think doing cool events like this that can showcase the best players of the game is genuinely cool. Back in the day, remember, you used to get all the big cinematic, boss kill videos that the guilds had put together. That was all the good shit. And as much as, as much as I think the modern discourse of games and esports being more of a thing now has got people being all like, oh, the top 1% are ruining it for us. Back in the day, back in my day, that stuff was actually cool because it was watching the best players do the hardest things. And that was just cool. But I suppose the thing is, maybe, some of the mythic stuff is too hard. Maybe it's too inaccessible to the average player. Maybe it is, I don't know, for some reason, maybe something has been lost as the game structure has changed away from, say, 25 HC by the time we were doing Wrath of the Lich King to, the heroic modes that we then had in Mists of Pandaria. Who knows? I think because Paragon's kill videos played such a large cultural role, I do feel like since the Paragon, the Paragon solo healed Garrosh 10, I feel like since that era, it's like weird. It's like this old version. It's like there's the pre-Race to World First era. There's always been the Race to World First, but I mean Race to World First, like
capital letters, Race to World First.
Capital letters, event, sponsors, and look, there always were sponsors like Steel Series, Nvidia, whatever. But the way it's just kind of it's like morphed, I suppose.
Yeah,
I don't even know where my point is going. I don't know. Highlight the big cool raid for the players at BlizzCon. Seems good to me.
I can pick the point up for you. So, right. There's something about esports. Incredible follow-up to There's Something About Mary. No, there's something about esports which is fascinating. And I don't watch anywhere near as much or play as much as I'd love to, but I really love fighting games. I think they're fucking fantastic. And I used to be a big mobile watcher. I used to play a lot of League and watch a lot, and that was a horrible time in my life. And I used to play whenever Overwatch launched. I played that in ranked, and I liked watching it, and that was a horrible time in my life. But
I'm like a big detached strategy gamer. You are more of a and I really hate that the best analogy for this is in the James Cameron avatars, the blue people have like a special thing in their hair or something, or maybe it's their tail, and they sort of
what are you doing? What are you trying to say?
Basically, every creature in the world of Pandora, has has a universal. They have a USB D. I didn't mean that. I just because it's the one after C. This has nothing with dick.
You could have said T for tail.
There you go. So basically, what I mean is, I'm this like cold, experientially detached and forever flat and unhappy strategy gamer. Whereas Matt, as a gamer, and you're like jacking into the Matrix at a very high level of power and intensity, which I think is pretty cool.
I've learned something about myself in the past few weeks, and that is that I am a horrendous, toxic bastard. I am a horrible, vile cretin of a human who thrives on toxicity and competition. The sheer level of I live for violence is very good.
You really were molded by League of Legends.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Hey, if you want to start playing League again...
No.
Come on.
No, I'm never doing that.
Come on. We can play League and eat seaweed like that one good 3-week period that ended with me getting blackout drunk, waking up and finding that I spent £100 at World Orbs.
That was good. That was very fun. Yeah, so, what was I going to say? Yes, I like fighting. So I think one of the very important parts of that is actually pushing through the idea of aspiration, right? The idea of you watch someone who's really good at the game and you go, fuck, what if I were like that? And that works in games which have especially now that we're a little bit more individual, a little bit less team-oriented.
Seagull Hanzo.
Yeah, that obviously you go to the League and the classic is Faker, of course. And there's a million top laners that people are like, oh my God, I could be that top laner. I could take someone like Fiora top. And I could win the game.
The Halo players it's like they're processing the game 5 times faster than everyone else.
Yeah.
Like, you could find a Halo player that would be so good they could reliably 2v1 in a firefight because somehow they could output damage that much more efficiently than everyone else. And you're just like, fucking hell, I bow down.
Yeah, it's that. And the idea of watching people do things that are really cool and going, well, I'm going to aspire to that. That kind of fell a little bit apart with the segregation of PvE difficulty in World of Warcraft, especially because it's team oriented, where it's like you're going to go, okay, well, I want to be the goddamn best World of Warcraft player of all time. And you can't really do that because to do that, you need to be part of an incredible organization. And you can be personally extremely good. You can be able to maximize your damage and handle call-outs and be able to like focus super well. And like you can literally do that, right? 100%. You can be that. And a lot of people do aspire to that. And that's maybe where the M+ thing is kicked off a little bit more compared to Mythic Rating as like the aspirational, because there's less of a team element. There's more of a, especially if you're tanking or if you're like if you're one of the flavor of the month, you're one of the flavor of the month DPS, you can turn them and go, I can be the fucking carry. I can be the carry. Because everyone dreams of being the carry in some capacity when it comes to esports.
Yeah.
Be that, like, obviously that depends on like the different flavor. You want to be the tank that controls everything perfectly. You want to be the healer that everyone can rely on at all times. You want to be the DPS that perfectly CCs and pumps out insane damage. And those are different flavors of what people want to do. Those are different flavors of what people like aspire to. But it's that aspiration that works. And I think Mythic Rating is way harder to aspire to because of the combination of the difficulty gap and also the fact that it is about being a part of a team and a community, which is fine. And that's great. And being part of a guild of like 20 to 30 people who are insanely good at the video game, that's going to be a feeling that you're basically like you're never really going to feel that. Like that is like kind of peak belonging in a sense, especially if you're in Echo or you're in Liquid and you're winning. Like the feel, like you see how they react when they win, and how they react when they lose, and that's not silly gamers. That's they've put themselves on the line as part of this thing that's bigger than themselves. And that's why I think there's an extreme aspiration, but getting there is harder than if it's just, I'm going to be really good at, if you're playing fighting games, I'm going to be really good at, because it's just you. And some people bounce off that. Some people like playing team games because they get to go, wasn't me that fucked up today. I can go to sleep happy. Or I can go to sleep slightly less tilted. Whereas if you're on a losing streak in a fighting game, you have there's no one to look at and go, you did this, except the mirror.
I have a question. Whenever you play games with your friends in school, would you want to play a TDM with them in your team? Would you be secretly really happy whenever matchmaking put you in the opposite team? And did you live for the free-for-all? Because that was me. I was like, yes, I was playing games with my friends. I was there to beat them. I wasn't always good. And do you know what's like awoke that? Okay, one thing that awoke that in me, and I'm sure you will remember the noises that came out of me whenever we played Halo Infinite.
Yep.
Halo Infinite can, like, that game plays me like a bagpipe. The noises that come out of me when I'm playing Halo are, it's just like some things, they take root when you're like 14 and they just don't go away. But what you're saying about like that aspirational level of mastery, for me, it has been watching Optimum Tech, Australian technology YouTuber. And he's like mixed so many of the things that I'm interested in, because I used to be a big FPS gamer. Like I played COD 2, COD 4, World of Warcraft, and Total War games. Like that was my jam. So he's taken the fastest Razor Viper, taken it totally out of its shell, printed, basically he has all the specs of a Razor Viper at 26 grams. It's crazy for his grip. But like you see the footage of him playing like be it Valorant, Overwatch or whatever, and you're just like, holy Jesus. Or even just see him in an aim trainer and you're just, what the that's insane. And like, yeah, there is that like, there's that real aspirational thing. And I suppose that's what's kind of weird, because WoW was never that for me. Like I was always a filthy DPS, but like the aspirational get good son was always in other games where I was more about just like cozy team progress.
Yeah, WoW had like some aspiration to being like part of the team and like being, respected among your peers in the team.
I think
less competition wise, unless you're a PvPer.
I would love it if just more hard solo stuff. I really wish that they actually put solo almost up there with Mythic Plus in terms of like, we're going to make a pillar of the game for like hard solo content. And I know people were like, but I main a healer. And like, by the way, I main a healer, or at least had. And I get how that could be hard, but I don't know, man. I just, it's like almost thinking about WoW Classic and like or hardcore and what it's proven. It's like, man, I'd love some just hard solo stuff, and not necessarily just bosses. Like Mage Tower.
Just engaging gameplay, like because there's
that has some way of being a bit competitive.
Yeah,
I don't know. There, I know. Just ship, do a game jam, pump out Warcraft survivors in 2 weeks. Done.
Sorted, easy, no problem. Absolutely no problem.
We can call it Defense of the Shadowlands, a new game feature.
Oh my goodness!
You appear in the Maw. Sylvanas is the announcer, and you have to help her fight the infinite armies of the jailer as she cleans out the Maw.
You're so cursed. You're so horribly cursed. Oh, you need to clean your brain out with soap, mate. That's it.
Nah, I think I'll clean it out. Yeah. Nope, that would violate guidelines.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, so this is actually, this is interesting. Salty Bite says, no one enjoys rating content. What they're enjoying is their ego being stroked and the feeling of accomplishment afterwards. That is enjoyment. It's also enjoyment. That's one of the things
I hate that you're probably right.
Oh, I'm very right.
Says man who just talked about ego getting stroked.
I'm very right.
I suppose we know what guild dramas look like.
Yeah, so
and where they come from.
I think it's very rare for anyone to detach the psychological effects of aspiration and joy from the literal feeling itself. I think even if, like, unless you're looking at a 3-year-old who's throwing a ball around, even then that intrinsically might not be quite as fun. And that's a hard thing, because obviously I really care a lot about intrinsic motivation and stuff like that, but even then it all does feed back into psychological elements of what you're doing. Like the amount of things people do just for a sense of belonging or something along the same lines of, they literally go, well, why would you contribute to this? Oh, because contributing to something tricks some sort of mental thing. And I'm not going to turn around and be like, I'm going to have to get the actual quote. Fuck, I'm gonna have to do it. I'm gonna have to do it because I feel like I need to do it correctly. So, no, that's not it. Where's it at? Where's it at? Ah, shit. Sorry. One moment. I've had a problem. I've had a brain fart into this.
Oh.
Yeah. Because I need to. This is an old ass meme. Yes. This is something. So if you'll remember, where's it at? Yes. So I'm not going to go full everything that we know and love is reducible to the absurd active chemicals and there is therefore no intrinsic value in this material universe. I'm not going to say that because I'm definitely someone who's a little bit more on the lines of hypocrite that you are, for you trust the chemicals in your brain to tell you they are chemicals. All knowledge is ultimately based on that which we cannot prove. Will you fight or will you perish like a dog? I'm on that side of things. So anyone who remembers that old meme, work away. But yeah, I definitely think there's a decent capacity for understanding that when you like something, you might not like it purely for intrinsic reasons. You might like it because it tickles something in your brain, be that some competitive nature or some sort of like, even if it's literally you want to play a MOBA and you want to destroy the enemy team because you want to make them feel shit that day. That's still enjoyment. Even it's a little bit different than, raiding's not very fun. Like, yeah, but if you raid and you feel good after, then that's kind of what matters in a bunch of ways, I think. Which is a bit of a sidebar, but I did want to go, actually having your ego stroked and feeling accomplished is a part of why a lot of people do things, believe it or not.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I'd be like, no, shouldn't do that. It's like, yeah. Hey, Michael, look outside. No, look inside in your phone. You'll find all the evidence there. As long as I don't click the Polytopia icon first. The Battle for Polytopia is a great little 4X strategy game, and I really need to get rid of it from my phone. Okay, so in terms of things then, we have talked about the BlizzCon, we have talked about Night Elves, and Night Elves, and Night Elves, and Malfurion, and Tyrande, and Night Elves. What is there? Oh, apparently we're going to have a faction war again.
Yes, Ross, I actually tweeted about it. I did play Rabbit and Steel. That game owns super hard.